Okay, here we go. All right, good. All right, we're in. We're in. Cool. All right. So here's how ChatGPT works. You can ask it anything. I could say, here we go. Write an essay about Bob who needs to buy a duck. Who needs to buy a duck and lives in a mountain. You can literally ask. Bob was a simple man. Dude, this stuff is too funny.
What the hell?
Yo. Is there anybody's phone number I can use for verification?
Oh my god. Use your parents. Ask your parents.
Dude,
look at this. Dude, look at this. As he walked down the winding road path, Bob couldn't help but think of all the adventures he had and his new duck would have. You imagine them swimming in the nearby pond and taking long walks up the forest together.
Finally, after several hours of walking, Bob arrived in the town. He made his way through the local farmer's market in search for a seller who had ducks for sale.
He named him Daffy.
Daffy? Oh hell no, bro.
Yeah, dude, but like, look how good this sounds, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, W, whoever created this, it's cool. It's all AI. It's all neural network stuff. But I could also say like, come up with a title for this essay. The journey to find a duck in the mountains. You know, like, wow. It's fucking good. Like, it's scary good.
This for titles for my YouTube videos.
Yes, yeah, no, exactly. No. So this is what, okay, so this is my whole thing about ChatGPT, because some people are like, oh, this is going to be the end of, like, all learning and whatnot. Because, yes, you could have kids where they could just take prompts like this. If your teacher said, write an essay, you can literally just say, just write it. And honestly, it looks pretty good, right?
Yeah.
No, a teacher's plagiarism checker would not flag this. No. Because it's unique.
Really?
Yeah, no, it wouldn't. And just inherently how it works, right? So, yeah, if you change if I change the prompt slightly, like if I said Bob who needs to buy a yellow duck or like a mallard or like a frog, it'll come up with a whole new essay. So this is why English teachers are freaking out, because if you saw this, you can't tell that a computer wrote this. Like, you don't know whether a human wrote this or a computer wrote this. So it becomes like, you know, one of these things where like, it's like the calculator, you know, like people thought the calculator was the end of math. It wasn't, right? Because then we just made you take tests where like you couldn't use a calculator, right? So you actually have to do the math in your head. What this means is that teachers are not going to be able to be as lazy, I think, with like making assignments and then you just turning them in. Because what used to happen, especially in English classes, is that teachers would make a prompt. They'd be like, you know, write about racism in the 1800s or something. Like, I can literally ask that too. I could say, write an essay about racism in the 1800s.
I'm getting the call. I'll be back.
Yeah, you're good. And it'll do it. It'll write you a whole essay about it, right?
Wow.
And it's good. And it's see, it talks about Jim Crow laws. Like, how the fuck does it know all this? Like, what? It's because it's AI and it's sourcing data from all over the internet. It's sourcing every single essay that has been written on racism. And it's finding commonalities. It's finding things that are common. And it's putting them together in a way that sounds, you know, legit. So what teachers...
Will it repeat the same thing?
I don't think so. Let me see. No, yeah, no, this is different, right? Because I just look. It comes up with two different answers. See, this is 2 of 2. You can tell it to rewrite the essay, and it'll do it in a different form, because there's infinite possibilities out there. It's like rolling the dice a bunch of times, right? You can just keep rolling the dice, and you'll always get. Yeah, so hopefully teachers don't start making us write entire essays by hand again. They are. That's the solution to this. Teachers used to just assign prompts. You would write an essay, and then they would use something called what's that thing called? It checks whether it's where it checks. It's where it checks whether 2 essays are the same. What's it called? Turn it in. No, turn it in. Turn it in is what it's called. Yeah. So this was not from this dude. Where is it? Turn it in. Yes. This was the de facto thing that teachers used to make sure that people didn't turn in the same essay. And it would work in a similar method where Turn It In has a database of everyone's essays that have been turned in. And if someone submits an essay that looks really close to another essay, it'll say how much of it has been copied. And if it's over a certain percentage, this triggers a warning where the teacher's like, no, that shit was plagiarized. Like, you just copy pasted. And then they go into it and they're like, oh yeah, and then you get bopped, right? So right. So Sam asked a good question. He's like, how are people going to learn if they have this? So again, this, and I use it. I use ChatGPT all the time, but I use it as a tool. I don't use it to basically write my things. But a lot of times if I have writer's block, and like what I'll do is I'll send it like something that I've written, and I'll be like, hey, rewrite this. And it'll, like, I'm trying, like, for instance, if I'm like, I'm trying to explain how this Discord gets gamer kids involved in education and incentivizes them with this and blah, blah, blah. And I'll just say, ChatGPT, can you put that into nicer words? And it'll do it. And I'll take the best parts of it. I'll be like, ooh, I really like this sentence, or I really like how it worded it this way. So it's a great tool, you know?
Wow.
That's what I do, but I don't use ChatGPT.
What do you use?
Beta.openai.
Okay.
It's the
There are a
same
bunch of them.
thing,
There's a
like-
bunch of them. OpenAI.
No, it's the same company, but, you know, I'm just on the website.
Okay. So in the same way that, like, you can use a calculator to check your math, right? You can use a calculator to help find the right answer on a question. I feel like ChatGPT can also be used to help you become a better writer. If you just copy paste what this is and turn it in, yes, you're not learning anything. You're just learning how to copy paste. In the same way that if a teacher gives you a math question and you just put it into the calculator and give the answer, you haven't learned any math. So
Or
the
just photo math, because a lot of people are
or
using
photo math, yes, or Desmos. They have all these ones and whatnot, right? But the issue is that
That's fine.
but the
They
issue
actually
is
condone that.
but the issue is you guys eventually are going to get into a classroom with no computers, no calculators, and they're going to ask you to right, exactly, Sam. They're going to ask you to take a test, or they're going to ask you to write an essay. And if you can't do it because you've been using these tools as like a crutch the entire time and you never learned, you're going to fail. So it's one of these, like, using ChatGPT will probably help you in the short term, but you're going to get fucked in the long term. Like, you won't have actually learned anything.
My math teacher already makes us take tests on paper, and I'm still getting 100.
Yeah, good.
You
And
know that they're making us take exams with computers,
yeah,
not even on paper.
sure.
Okay, so go
What's
about
up?
this topic. You see the profile picture I have on?
Yeah,
It's
what's
the
up?
exact same as my old profile picture, but I posted it into
Oh, the
like,
AI art
Dottie
stuff.
thing.
Yeah, the
and
AI
it
art,
made
yeah.
this.
That's cool. Yeah. AI art is another interest. I can go into all sorts of. I love AI. AI is really cool stuff. I can go into a whole discussion about that. Maybe for the next time or whatnot. But yeah, Sam says they take our phones on tests. Yeah, quizzes are online, lockdown browsers. Yeah.
Well, I only have my phone.
Also, those
on.
lockdown browsers are garbage, dude. I've seen kids get past them so many ways. Like, you could just have another
Wait,
screen.
What, lockdown browsers?
Yeah, you
where
just
they
have another
like,
computer, like, or you just hook it up to another monitor.
Wait, no, what's lockdown browser?
Sometimes when you take
Imagine
quizzes,
bringing another monitor to a test.
right?
Oh,
Yeah.
no,
Well,
bro.
he's talking about the ones they take at home. So Teacup, lockdown browsers are usually
Oh.
if you're taking a test, they'll have you install some app, kind of similar to like anti-hack stuff, where like it'll monitor what your computer is doing, and it'll detect if you're going to other tabs or opening other programs to help you with the quiz.
No,
Yeah.
so on the stuff,
Oh.
on like Edgelastic or something, I don't know if you guys know about that. Do you guys know about that?
What is it called?
Like Edgelastic.
Edulastic? No, I've never heard of this.
It's like a test thing.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I have.
Oh, interactive formative assessment. Yeah, all these things have come up because with COVID they were like, we have to test people online.
Oh no, this was before COVID. This was
Oh, it
like,
was?
before COVID.
Oh, okay. But these things became popular with COVID.
Yeah. Well, actually, no. This was still popular in school before that.
Yeah.
But so, in 7th grade in science, we were taking a test on here, and you either had to enter full screen, or you couldn't take a test. And if you exited full screen, it would notify the teacher.
Yes,
So-
exactly.
One of the kids, by no means, he's not a smart kid at all. I mean, he's a lazy kid, and the lazy kids always find like ways to cheat.
Yeah.
'Cause, like I sat next to him in math, and he was literally on Google.
Yeah,
Oh,
see,
no.
yeah. The issue is that like all this cheating and stuff, like you eventually get screwed later. So like just learn the stuff now and you'll be okay.
No, but then the thing was, so he found a bypass for the full screen thing. He went to inspect element and just deleted the full screen thing, and I let him take the test.
Yes, you can do that.
And then I
That
saw him googling answers.
that's a
That's
common trick. That's a
crazy.
common trick. You can do that. Anyways, let's roll through some questions. I got a lot of people. I hope that's cool. I can go more into ChatGPT stuff in the next like office hours and whatnot, but that's a cool intro. Nick, I'll give you a bond coin for that because that's cool.
I
That's
think I should get a bond coin.